Well, howdy folks. Today we are going to make us some Cowboy coffee, inspired by the famous guy Rollins, as everybody knows. Now, it's an easy recipe. I've made this several times, maybe tweaked the measurements a little bit, but I'm going to show you the best way that I found to make it. First off, you want to get yourself a big old coffee pot like this. Doesn't have to be an antique coffee pot like this. Any kind of coffee pot will do, but this makes it more authentic. And what I got in here is I'm going to put 64 ounces of water. I already got enough in there up into the last 16 ounces. So now we got 64 ounces of water. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 heaping cup of your favorite coffee. Freshly ground, preferably. I just so happen to have some 8 o'clock, which I like because it's probably stepping on 8 o'clock. We're shooting this at night and it's going to make a nice cup of coffee. So got my old fashioned grinder here and we're going to start grinding. Unfortunately, this takes a little bit of time. So what we're going to have to do is we'll start this up, and by the magic of television, we're going to have this done in a jiffy. But you get the idea. Put some beans in there and start cranking and cranking. And we'll catch up to you very shortly. Alright, let's see. I think we got about a cup. Look at that. Just about 1 cup. We're going to dump it in. Right on in. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to start a flame up here. And we're going to bring this to a rolling boil. We want a good rolling boil. And I like to boil it for a good 5 to 6 minutes. I prefer it a little on the stronger side. I like a good cup of stout coffee, strong coffee. So yeah, we'll just put the lid on there and we'll stand by and keep an eye on it so it doesn't boil over. That's the last thing we want, is to boil it all over the stove. So we'll bring it to a boil and we'll let it go for 5 to 6 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, I do believe we've reached a boil. I could see the steam coming out of the spout there. Oh yeah, we are boiling. Okay, so now we're going to keep note of time here. It's 7:54. Look at that. And I'm going to let it go for 6 minutes, and that's going to be 8 o'clock. And we're going to have us some 8 o'clock coffee. All right, it is now 8 o'clock. 6-minute boil. We're going to turn it off. Now, if you don't like it as strong, you could do 4 minutes. A 4-minute boil would be fine also. But like I said, I like it a little stronger. Also, you want to add a little less coffee, maybe 3/4 of a cup instead of a full cup. But I find that this works pretty well for me. It's not real strong, but it's a little on the stronger side. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave it rest now for a good 2 minutes, because that's still all churned up in there and everything is still unsettled. And yeah, you can take a peek in there. It's still going to do its thing. Now you notice you got some grinds on the side and around the top, but don't worry none about that. We're going to take care of that in our next step, and we're going to make us a good cup of coffee. So we'll let that sit for 2 minutes and then we'll be back with our next step. Alright, we got a few minutes that elapsed, and what I did in the meantime is I got about 1.5 cups of ice cold water right out of the fridge. I got a dispenser in the fridge. If not, put a bottle of water in your fridge. Let it cool down ice cold. And the best way of doing this here now is you take some of this and pour it right on down the spout. And then don't be afraid to get in there. Maybe take some in a smaller cup and wash all those grounds right down. You're going to go right in there, right around. The ice cold water, wash them all down. Don't worry about the water. That's why I make the coffee a little strong to begin with. Adding a little extra water here is not going to hurt. Rinse it all down, all around. Let it sit for another 2 minutes. We'll maybe put the lid back on it. And we're about ready to have ourselves some coffee. Alright, so we're going to hope that the cold water did its thing, pushed all the grinds to the bottom. We're going to have ourselves a cup. Let's grab our favorite mug. Look at that, it's got a lantern on it. What do you know? Let's pour ourselves a cup of this. You want to pour it kind of slow, but look at that. Beautiful looking cup of coffee. In fact, it looks so good, I'm not even going to put anything in it. I'm just going to drink it like that. It's going to be rather hot, but delicious. Alright, so while I'm enjoying my coffee, you're probably wondering, well, what am I going to do with the rest of all this coffee? Well, what I do is I let that cool down, and I got a couple of these glass bottles here. And you want to let it cool down fairly well, but you can distribute it into these. You can put these in your fridge, and when you're ready for a cup of coffee, you just take it out of the fridge, put it in your favorite mug, and you can microwave it for a couple minutes, and you'll have some nice coffee for a couple days. And that's how I enjoy my coffee. That's my Cowboy coffee for you. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you real soon in another video. Bye bye for now.